Welcome to Urban Fantasy PH. We are creatives who live in an urban society and give readers wish fulfillment by way of our stories, which is fantasy but reflective of reality. Here, we get to talk to fellow creatives like writers, authors, artists, comic book creators, filmmakers, you name it. We create and share our art here in the Philippines as well as abroad. My name is CJ Edmunds, I'm your host, and here is today's episode. All right, good morning, fellow bookworms, book hoarders, book lovers, and creatives. Wishing you all a bright, happy Wednesday. It is a brand new month, yes, and it is episode 43 of the podcast. This is our the first of our Pride-centric episodes for this month of June. Happy Pride, everybody. And like always, and during an ongoing season, our show is aired every Wednesday, both for Spotify as well as on my YouTube channel. You do have the option, as I always give you that, the option to listen to us or to watch us, and the choice is in your hands. Whether you are listening to us or joining us via Spotify or YouTube, do click the subscribe button so you do not miss a thing, especially when a new episode comes along. Now, all of our past episodes are already free to return to, or listen in chronological order. That is, if you like it that way, or if you are joining us for the very first time. Now, our guest for today is a digital artist, and he loves making queer-themed illustrations and comics. He is the author and illustrator of Dante, Damian, and Pascal the Pusang Kalye. That's right over here. Hey, I got it. And we're happy and honored to have him today. I personally am happy to have him here. Let's all say hi and good morning to Mr. Levi Sabarre. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good
Hi,
morning.
good
Hi,
morning.
DJ. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to Urban Fantasy PH, Levi. First of all,
Happy to be here.
thank you for taking the time to join us. And as I asked you prior to recording, I didn't know that you migrated to the UK.
I
Um,
did.
yeah, for those who are not aware, how long ago was this?
I went here January, 4 months ago.
Okay, 4 months ago. Okay, not that
hmm
not too long, but just fairly recent. What's the weather over there? Because we're all burning
Oh,
up here in Manila.
oh yeah, I heard. It's getting sunnier here, but still a bit cold. Not like in the Philippines. Ah,
Yes.
so
Hindi,
hot, so
in
hot.
short, hindi ka matutuna pag naglalakad ka sa daan.
Hindi. Super walkathon lang yung mga tao dito.
Oh, that's
Everywhere.
nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So, in short, kalahating araw pa lang siguro naka 10K steps ka na. That is if you're if you monitor your steps.
Well, yeah,
Or no?
I walk to work din eh.
Oh, okay.
Mm,
Good.
mm.
Menos ka na sa gas, menos ka pa sa parking, di ba? So you
Yeah,
can always
correct.
go, walk to work. And
Yeah.
you mentioned offline that you started a new job. I was wondering what kind of job is this, and does it complement your work in being a creative?
I started my job this week lang sa hospital, but not as
Hmm.
a clinical or whatever. I'm more on the administrative side.
All right.
Kasi this was my experience there in the Philippines, so that's what I brought here. And I'm still adjusting to it, but it feels like I have time to do some personal artworks for myself.
Nice. That's great. Are there, and I just need to ask this, are there a lot of Filipinos in your in
Well,
your office?
there are a lot of Filipinos in the hospital, not in my area particularly.
Okay.
But yeah, maraming mga Pilipino doon.
Nice. Alam mo naman, hindi tayo maubusan eh. We're always there
Hindi.
in every corner of the world. We're always there. Um,
Exactly.
and I know you've just been there for for about 4 months, but do any of them know that you are? I mean, people at work, that is, regardless whether they're Filipino or from the UK.
Mhm.
Do any of them know that you draw, or you like to draw, or you have a book out?
My colleagues right now, they don't know that I draw or anything like that. Kasi, we're in the getting to know stage. I didn't wanna
Right.
just come out and say, "Uy, I draw pala. May libro pala ako."
May libro pa ako. Bilhin nyo naman, buy my book.
Yeah.
Diba?
But I have some friends na nandito who know that I have a book out and I have an online comics.
Cool. Great, great. It's nice to hear and to to get feedback from artists who are who share their work and who are if not brave enough to share their work. Now, I use the word brave because normally one would not associate that particular adjective with being a creative, and sometimes, sadly, it is overlooked. And most people
Mhm.
probably think that what creatives do is just it's just so easy that we just sit our butts in our chair, we type, we draw, and we just churn out work that's worthy to share. Para lang tayong printer,
Yeah.
bira lang ng bira. But
Mhm.
we're not printers. We have to think about the things that we want to write or when we want to draw about, and people forget about the emotion also of being brave.
Mhm.
So let me ask you, how does bravery come into the equation for you as a creative?
Hmm. Well, at first, just talking about Dante, Damian, Pascal the Pusang Kalye, my comics. That was publishing. I mean, posting my first episode of Dandampas was a tiny bit difficult for me because
Hmm.
it meant that I was um, kind of signaling to others what my sexuality was.
Okay.
And I wasn't really totally ready to come out and tell the people, tell my friends, tell my family that I'm gay or I'm queer. So that so, yeah, I think that's a small part of being brave about of being brave in relation to my art. Other
Hmm.
than that, um, uh, well, it's difficult to medyo nahihirapan akong sabihin na I'm being brave,
Hmm.
but um, I feel like posting about Tandem Pass, posting about queer comics, queer content, um, you're kind of opening yourself to criticism. You're kind of opening yourself to, the backlash of homophobia.
Yeah, or
Um,
maybe not even backlash. Maybe it's just at the very least, maybe speculation,
yeah,
right?
exactly. And
Yeah.
also, you're kind of also opening yourself up to criticism from the community itself, from the LGBT community itself.
Hmm.
Maybe, you post something that could be taken as offensive,
Right.
without meaning to. So yeah, I think those are the most difficult or the bravest part, I guess, of what I do as a creative.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you feel that way about bravery, and it does need to be talked about. It needs to be addressed from time to time,
Mhm,
and if if no one reminds us creatives about how brave we should be when we share our work, we also should, I guess, remind ourselves. And bravery is well and good when you have it, but what about for those who are struggling and vacillating? Should I share my work or should I not? Regardless of regardless whether you are a queer creative or not, sometimes the
mhm,
bravery also comes because I don't want my work to be criticized because people might there might be grammar Nazis out there
yeah, yeah, yeah.
who might see a lot of grammar mistakes more than I thought I saw, or
Mhm,
if not, they would feel that my characters are not fully developed, not fully fleshed out, even if as a creative I feel that they are.
mhm.
So it's sort of like a two-part question. Um, what would you suggest for people who are on the verge of sharing and then deciding not to? And for your part, I wonder what got you through when you were just about to share your own work.
Um, to anyone who wants to share their work, I would say is to just do it. Just share your work. Um, if you're thinking about it, if there's some part of you that wants to share something to the world,
Hmm.
that wants to show something you made to other people, then just do it. If you're afraid of criticism, then you just have to understand that's a part of it.
Hmm.
But if you want to protect yourself from that, you can always post your work under a pseudonym, under a character, or you can post it anonymously. So you can create a different account for for your artworks. You um, but yeah, um, I say just post it, um, and and criticism will come naturally. It will,
Yeah,
but
you can't please everybody.
exactly, but people who appreciate your work will also come. When you post things online, you kind of attract the right kind of people,
Hmm.
more than more than the haters actually.
Okay.
So um, when I started posting my work, I actually started posting drawings
Hmm.
back when I was in college in God 2011 or so. I
Okay.
started in deviant art. But
Ah, yeah, right. Deviant art.
yeah,
There's a lot of great work there. There's a lot
yeah,
of great work over
exactly.
there.
The place for the creatives back then. And so yeah, but back then I didn't really post much about, queer. I didn't really make queer art back then because I was still struggling with my sexuality back then. I
Hmm.
was still finding myself. And so, yun lang mga generic art, mga fan art that was on there. And yun nga, may mga criticism talaga, and I just didn't care. If they were saying something constructive, then I'd appreciate it. I'd take a mental note of that, and I apply it onto my next artworks. But if they were just plain haters,
Hmm.
which there were a lot of in deviant art, I know there were just a lot of
Yeah,
haters around
there were a lot of
there.
haters. There's as much as there are creatives over there at that time.
Yeah. So then I just, don't care. Just yeah, it might sting a little bit, but when you realize that it's just a natural part of being a creative, then you kind of just, get used to it. With my current artworks, with Dandang Pass especially, I'm happy to say that I haven't really received any hateful comments. Maybe one or two one or two in on Facebook, but
Hmm.
not really that much. I'm pleasantly surprised actually about that.
Well, we're glad. We're glad because if any haters start sprouting up, then I would have to buy a gallon of pesticide and then bubuhusan ko na lang sila para
Or
ano,
fist fight,
ah, sa Ace,
fisticuffs.
sa Ace Hardware. Oh boy. Speaking of work, sometimes we also have to, I don't know, segregate our brains for a few moments when we say write or compose, or in your case, draw, because as you said,
Mhm.
you are a self-taught artist. I was wondering, do you sometimes draw the line, or probably do you even have to when it comes to seeing your work or what you do on paper as to, let's say, something that you love to do? Sometimes it can be that. It's like, oh god, another deadline, I have to submit this again to submit this again to my bosses at Marvel or DC or whatever. and
Mhm.
and, and sometimes because the deadlines take precedence over what you're supposed to be doing, it starts to become work and less of what you love to do. So I was wondering, should you even draw the line for that, or it's okay to blur the lines once in a while?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
Sorry, sorry.
Um,
I didn't expect to be asking that. It just popped in. Sorry.
yeah, it's yeah, but I think it's an important question to ask honestly, um, kasi personally, when I was deciding back when I was in high school, fourth year high school, when I was deciding what course to take for college, so syempre in my head, I was thinking taking up something creative, fine
Mm-hmm.
arts or
Right.
architecture or something. But then I realized I decided against that and I took up psychology instead. Kasi my justification for that was baka if art related yung trabaho ko, baka mawala yung passion, baka mawala yung,
Mm,
drive to create for myself. So then, yes,
okay.
I took up psychology and all of that. After that, graduating college, nag-work ako sa government. So it wasn't a creative job. So then,
Well,
doon
what did you
ko,
do in government, if I may ask?
admin din.
Ah, okay.
Admin
All
stuff
right.
then.
Admin
I
and
was
stuff.
with the Well, I'd rather not say.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. Whatever
The
you're comfortable
past is the
saying.
past.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
But
You
yeah, I
move
was
forward.
in the government. It's a government agency as and mainly admin stuff. There were some field work. So yeah, all of my job experiences there weren't very creative, but I got to use my creative skills here and there, but not really, fully, not, you know, And so then when I started posting Dandampas, creative opportunities just opened up. I kind of saw what could have been there for me
Mm-hmm.
had I studied a creative job, had I taken up, you know, fine arts or whatever. And so there was a little bit of regret over there. And so when sorry ang haba ng kwento ko.
Go, go, go. We love stories over here. That's all right. We have an entire hour to spare.
Okay. So yeah, ayun nga. When I was with the government agency, there was a little bit of a regret for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, like I said kanina, the past is the past. Nangyari na. I decided what I decided. So yeah, I just stuck to my job. When it was decided that I was gonna come here to the UK on on January, nag-decide ako na mag-resign 6 months earlier than that. Nag-decide ako mag-resign from my government job, from my tenured job,
Mm-hmm.
to try and pursue creative job.
Mm-hmm.
So I resigned. For 6 months, I worked on my comics. I worked on um, making merch for Dandam Pass. I got to attend Comiket 3 times, I think, in that duration. Um, and I was supporting myself through that and doing commissions.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I started making commissions, and thankfully there were a lot of clients who who were messaging me,
Right. Who
asking me
responded?
to asking me to draw them. Um, and this is the part where this is where I sort of burned out a little bit because of the volume of people who wanted me to draw them. I couldn't really find time to make personal art, make more episodes of Dandam Pass. And so, yeah, I was struggling a little bit because I was drawing, but it wasn't for me. It was for
Mm-hmm.
it's for other people. Well,
Right.
it
Right.
was for me. I gained money, but there was a certain lack of satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
So
I get it.
what I would say is I think it is healthy to draw a line.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you just have to, you just have to know your limits. You just have to take on, what you can, and you have to make time for yourself.
Right.
Um, that's what I struggled with back then because I didn't have a job, and so I was anxious all the time because I had bills to pay.
Yes.
I was anxious,
Bills
so
will always do that.
yeah, and so I prioritize the commissions. I prioritize the commissions. I was taking in a lot of clients, even when I was starting to burn out.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I realized that I wouldn't be happy just doing that. So if I could turn back time and if I had to do it all over again, I think I would set time um for commission, set time for, these works that make you money, and
Hmm.
then more importantly, allocate time for, to create for yourself
Right.
because otherwise you will burn out.
Right. In short, you eventually learn how to compartmentalize and say that this time, like, commissions are for early afternoon or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yes, exactly.
when it comes to me writing or drawing for myself, it will be late afternoon to evening,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, right? And
Yeah.
you sort of like, for anyone out there who's struggling with time management, necessarily um, you don't necessarily master that from day one. It's a process
Mm-hmm.
that you have to discover for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Some people discover that it's okay that you could actually write in a room full of people, and the sound that you hear all around you becomes white noise, and
Yeah.
that helps you write. Some
Mm-hmm.
people can't do that. They can't work with so many people in the room. They have to like, you know corral themselves into an empty room, and that's the best
Yeah.
place for them. So there's no one way to do it.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
yeah. You wrote in your book that you were always drawing or doodling in your books during elementary, like most of us. But not everyone can draw well or draw something that can be sufficient enough to be put into a book and then sell it. So would you remember what kind of drawing you did back then, or the drawings?
Well, first of all, yung mga dinodrawing ko before sa libro, they weren't worthy of, publishing. Um, just random stuff.
Just
I had a
superhero stuff
phase.
or whatever.
No, not really. Nothing in
Oh, okay.
particular. Actually, uh, I had a phase na I always drew eyes. I think
Okay.
everyone have had a face like that. You always draw eyes, just eyes. And then um yeah, nothing really in particular. What I do remember though is when I started going on DeviantArt is I realized that you can draw your favorite characters, you can draw your favorite cartoon characters, popular cartoon characters in your own style. Because
Hmm.
before, I was always trying to emulate, the original as they appear on TV, as they appear on comics. So I was always trying to draw them that way. And then I realized when I was on DeviantArt, oh, I was mind blown. I don't know why. I was mind blown that I could draw them in my own style. So a lot of my books and notebooks were filled with, characters like I want to say uh, a little bit of Dragon Balls.
Okay.
Um, uh, there was probably Card Captor Sakura in there as a baby
Hmm.
gay, and Sailor Moon, Powerpuff
Right,
Girls was
right.
definitely there. Yeah.
Cool, cool. And since we're also, reminiscing at this point, would you remember the time when you realized that drawing not only became a hobby for you, but probably something you could be doing as, maybe your life's work, or something on the side, or as a creative who has indeed something to say via their
Mm,
drawings, and share it, and in the interest of commerce, also sell it to readers.
mm. Yeah, there's always that little voice inside your head saying that no, it's not good enough. No one's gonna like this. No one's gonna buy this. Um, But then with Dandam Pass, when I started posting it online and it started gaining attention, I kind of realized that, oh, uh, people appreciate this. So I started putting out more. And then some were commenting, gawa ka naman ng t-shirt or Dandam Pass book when,
Hmm.
or they want Pascal stickers or something.
Oh God.
And so yeah, yeah, I that's when I kind of realized, oh, this might be something. This might be
Yeah.
something for me. Okay. So back then, when I was when in the early days of Dendam Pass, I never ever thought in my life that being published, you know, was would ever be a thing for me, would ever be a possibility for me. Um, but then Comiket approached me. They asked me if I'd like my comics to be published, and who wouldn't say no to that?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I took the opportunity, and yeah, doing that opened a lot of opportunities for me. A lot of, yeah, like I said earlier, it opened a lot of creative opportunities for me. I feel like I gained more commission clients because of
Hmm.
Dandam Pass. So yeah, Dandam Pass really, I mean, it honestly changed my life.
For sure, for sure. So let's get to the heart of the matter, and that is, of course, the book Dante,
Hmm.
Damian, and Pascal, the Pusang Kalye. For those who have not read
Yay!
it, can you tell our listeners and viewers what the book slash graphic novel is all about? But just
Mm.
to clarify, would you classify this as a book, or because they're pictures, some people might even call this a graphic novel? So what is it for you?
Oh, I never really thought about it. I always just call it a book. It's kind of
Okay.
a compilation of my of the episodes I post online. So Dante Damian and Pascal the Pusang Kalye is a comics about two dads, one a security guard and a tricycle driver with their adopted baby daughter, cat daughter,
Yeah,
Pascal.
happens to be a
And
cat.
so yeah, a talking cat. She's a talking cat. So um yeah, I think I'd classify it as a book just because it looks like a book. I don't know if
Size wise, it's square. It's
yeah.
not, yeah, it's not graphic novel size like in the size of a comic that's
Yeah.
that's bound together. So yeah,
And I
okay.
wouldn't call it a graphic novel, I think, because in my head, when I say graphic novel, I'm thinking of a long story, whereas Dandampas is, small bits. It's different episodes per page or
Hmm.
per couple of pages. So yeah, I don't think I would call it a graphic novel. So
Right.
maybe just a book, a
A book.
compilation.
Yeah, a book would be safe. One thing I like about the work is that the characters are very relatable, and the work itself is basically digestible slices of Filipino life, the working class peeps. And
Yeah.
when you started writing, I was wondering, were those already the set and fixed career choices for your characters, or was there a time that you think that they could probably be yuppies working in a corporate environment instead?
Mm. Yeah, from the very beginning, from conceptualization, they were already a tricycle driver and a security guard
Hmm.
because um when I was conceptualizing Dandam Pass, I was thinking of the existing characters in media, in mainstream media especially, and they were always young professionals working a corporate job, the LGBT people that were featured in these um media
Hmm.
were, yeah, working a desk job or working some fancy job, and and I just thought that I would, put in something new. I have never, or I have maybe at least seen one representation of like, um because there are LGBT members who are tricycle drivers, jeepney drivers,
Yes, there
maybe
are. There are. It's
security
just that we don't
guards.
see. We just don't see them
Yeah, we don't see them in mainstream
represented.
media, and so
Yes.
yeah, I thought I'd put out something like that, you know. So yeah.
Good. Good. And we love that it's it's representative of everyone. So why not even down to the job?
Hmm.
And we don't see that quite often. And representation matters, especially these days, with kids are very impressionable, and when you try to look for um, someone to emulate in mainstream media, if you can't find it in media, where can you look for it, right? And you can usually find it in works. in
Yeah, and
books and in
yeah,
comics.
and funny you should say that because that's what I thought. If I can't find it, then I could just make it. And so yeah, and also these jobs are being a security guard or a tricycle driver. They're usually seen as, you know, macho. They're usually seen as, um, as quote unquote lalaking lalaki. And
Yeah,
so I thought it'd be nice to feature a queer couple who are, who fit these jobs, but they're
right, right.
queer.
Exactly. Good
Hmm.
choices. Good choices. Another thing I love is that you shared a mixed rice recipe in the book because the character of Damian loves to cook. So I was wondering, do you love to cook?
I love to cook mixed rice. No,
Okay. All right.
no. I just started. I didn't really cook much in the Philippines because I was living with my family back then with my parents, so they would always do the cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, pero lang kung di ko gusto yung ulam, then I would cook, itlog or hot dog,
Or something.
prito-prito lang,
Yeah, yeah,
ganun,
yeah,
pancit
yeah, yeah.
canton. But then when I arrived here, um, that's when I started cooking. I actually posted some on my personal Instagram. I want to start a series of me trying to cook whatever because I've I'm finding out that cooking is easy if you
Hmm.
if you have the right recipe. Um,
And if you have the
uh,
complete ingredients to choose from, yes,
yeah,
why
yeah,
not?
yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm finding out right now. Cooking is easy. I've been cooking for myself and it's going great. And my specialty is still mixed rice.
Which you can find on page 14 of the book. There you go. It's right.
Yeah,
It's right. It's right
that's
there. Yeah.
yep. That's actually a recipe from my mother.
Oh,
I remember,
cool.
yeah, she would cook this for us when I was younger. She would cook this more often. It's mixed rice. I especially like that there's bilbao in it. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
if
yeah,
bilbao
yeah.
din yung tawag, but it's mandarin sausages sa groceries. Um, so yeah, it's a big part of my childhood, and I wanted to share it to the world,
Right,
to the
right.
world talaga.
To the world. Oo naman, to the world. Kasi may online component naman din to, di ba? May online version. So yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
To the world. For sure, let's say the ingredient here, one, it says chorizo de Bilbao. But if you didn't
Mm,
use chorizo and you probably used Chinese sausages, which are sweeter, for sure it
mhm.
will also change, the taste of the rice.
Yeah, but it kind of tastes. Yeah, yeah. It's a bit similar. Yeah,
Yeah,
chorizo de
yeah.
Bilbao and the Mandarin sausages. Yeah.
Right, right. So yeah, this is well, mom looks loves to cook something like this as well. So we have
Yeah.
our moms
Actually,
to thank for these
yeah,
for
we
these
do.
recipes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wondering, would you probably be sharing more recipes in the future, if not online?
Yeah, I was thinking actually of doing that, but I
Like
don't have the credibility. I'm not a
like
good
like
cook by
like
any
like
means.
like Damian's cookbook. Well, that only means that you may need to try and cook it for yourself, and then if it's okay, all right, this goes in
Y-
to the
yes,
compilation or something like
actually,
that.
yeah. I'm thinking of making one for chicken adobo, but then I'm hesitant kasi everyone makes adobo differently, and they might hate me for that. Imagine getting hated
For
for
adobo,
sharing an
oh my
adobo
god,
recipe,
oh goodness,
not
no, no,
about
no.
being queer. Oh my gosh, that
That'll
could
be a
be.
first. That'll be a first. Yeah, but there's no real, just like creating, there's really no real or wrong way of cooking adobo. It's just
Yeah,
your
exactly.
own. It's just like your own style. You just
Yeah,
have to, you just have to do it as you say, right? And there's also no one single way to express yourself. You only have to make the choice that you have to express yourself. Period.
exactly.
All right. We have Madonna to thank.
Period.
Yeah, we have Madonna to thank for that. But shout out to Madonna. When are you coming back to Manila? We miss you over here. But
Pre-concert, no?
yeah, that'd be great. But speaking of expression, it is June and it is Pride Month, and this is the month where we get to freely express ourselves in the best way that
Mhm.
feels comfortable to us. But not everyone is ready or are still making themselves feel ready at some point. Do you remember how? And I leave it to you how much you're willing to discuss and
Yeah.
probably share a little bit of your own coming out process.
Um, I can't pinpoint um a real coming out for me. I never really publicly came out. I just
Mm-hmm.
um if anything, I could if I could pinpoint something, it's when I started posting Dandampas.
Okay.
Um I was that's when I felt most vulnerable, I guess. Putting my work out there, putting my queerness out there, um, and not caring whether they would think I was gay or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah, that was my coming out. I remember actually one time because I when I graduated college, I studied law for a little bit. For a little
Okay.
bit, I studied law for a semester, and that didn't work out for me. And so I went out. I nag-drop ako, and so
Mm-hmm.
years later, when Dandampas was starting to gain popularity,
Mm-hmm.
um, one of my classmates from law messaged me and she's like, congrats on your book, congrats on coming out. And in my head, I'm like, I never really came out, but I guess
People would
they,
equate it with that because
yeah,
of the subject
exactly.
matter of the work.
Yes, yeah. You said it right. Yeah.
Right, right. I wonder what was the biggest hurdle that you had to jump across into fully being comfortable with yourself. I mean, many variables and different variables for people. Some people would cite family, some people would cite friends, and
Mhm.
probably even religion. So,
Well,
was there?
my family and friends were never really an issue.
Great. That's nice to know.
They love me. They accepted me right away. Um, Religion, not an issue for me because even before I accepted my sexuality, I was already kind of moving away from the church
Hmm.
because of reasons.
Right.
Um, and yeah, it wasn't really difficult for me actually. I'm one of the lucky ones who had a strong support system. And so if I had any challenges, I would say it was just myself. If I was in my head all the time, I was always thinking, oh, what if they make a homophobic remark? What would I say to defend myself? What would I say
Hmm.
to yeah, to defend myself? But that never that never really happened for me. And I know there are a lot of people out there who experience homophobia on a daily
Hmm.
basis, and my heart goes out to them. It's sad that this is happening um in this time, but that was never a problem for me. And I'm not saying that if you come out, it's not gonna be a problem for you as well. It might be more difficult for some people. It wasn't for me, luckily.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, just if if I could give an advice to someone who's thinking of coming out, I think it really depends. You should um first and foremost, do you really want to come out? You have to find out for yourself if you really have to come out, you really want to come out, or do you just feel pressured to say
Hmm.
something, to come out? um are you currently in a safe environment? Um if if coming out means that you will get punished for it, if you get, if mabubugbog ka ng family mo,
Yeah, yeah. You get beaten up or physically
yeah,
harmed in any way. Yeah.
yeah, maybe your safety is the most important part. Your safety should be prioritized, and I know it's frustrating, I know it's sad that you can't just outrightly come out, but yeah, that is the reality. And um I oh, it's it's
I
difficult.
know, I know. But
But
yeah,
so I'm
but
being
it's
emotional.
no worries, no worries. It's
uh,
we speak our truth here on the show, and you do speak true when you say that you should not be forced to come out. No one can force you to come out. This is
mhm.
something that you have to do on your own.
Yeah, yeah,
Just because like everyone who's equally within the community,
mhm.
in your area is starting to come out, and if you're not ready, then don't pressure yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It has
don't
to be the process has to be organic, and because it's organic, it's also hard to quantify.
oh yeah, yeah, that's why I was having trouble with paano ba.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Di ba? So hindi pwedeng madaliin. Hindi
Yeah,
pwedeng sabihin na it has to be a goal that when I reach a certain age or by my birthday next year I should be out, to family
yeah,
and friends. But
yeah,
if you're not out to yourself, you can't be out for other people,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
right?
I guess
That's
that's where the frustration of some people can come, because they have accepted who they are, but then they can't show it still. They
yeah.
can show it outside because they're not in a safe environment. Their family might, disown them, and it can be frustrating. But you can still be silently proud
Mm-hmm.
until you're in a safer environment.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. And I
Mhm.
guess when you find people who accept you for who you are, in a way they slowly sort of like become family in not in a biological sense, but in the sense wherein you can draw strength from, and that they can equally find that you can find solace in, and be safe to speak your own truth. Uh, and that's for people within the community. But let's say as a creative, um, I was wondering, where do you get strength from or motivation from when there are days when you feel like, I don't want to draw today. Oh no, and
Oh,
not another commission, because I've done 20 already for the past 2 days, and I can't add another one to make it 21.
oh wait, hold on, no ball.
Sure, sure, sure. No worries, no worries. I'll just keep yapping and talking, and and we're sort of like transitioning to finding your purpose and strength now, in the community, regardless if you are creative or not. But if in case you are a creative, there will be days where you feel like I I don't think I can write, I don't think I can sing, I don't think I can compose. My poetry sucks, or my drawing is lopsided. My characters don't look the way that I want them to look. So,
Mhm.
how do you motivate yourself when you get to feel that way in certain days?
So yeah, this is I was gonna say this earlier when we when we were answering the question about blurring the line between
Mm-hmm.
personal work and commissions. Because personally, my experience of art is I can't set a specific time where I would make personal work, because it doesn't come naturally to me. It comes in waves.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I find that sometimes sa morning ako productive on my personal
Okay.
work. Sometimes in the middle of the day, sometimes gabi, late at night.
Yeah.
So that's what I struggled with back then, compartmentalizing, because it comes in waves for me.
Okay.
um and to motivate myself, for me kasi creating or looking at the final product is the reward itself. And so whenever I do get tired, whenever I um whenever I I'm not inspired to draw anything, I sometimes what I would do is I would just push through it, um, push through the art block, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and just see what comes out. But I have a technique that I use that when I get into a slump, whenever the creative juices just
Are
won't
not flowing.
flow, you know, what I would do is I would take there are three things. I would take my current obsession on TV, a series, a movie, or whatever, and try to
Hmm.
make fan art of it.
Okay, I
Okay,
like that. I like
if
that.
that doesn't work, if the lines are just wrong, if everything just feels wrong, I move on to the second one. I take out my old sketchbooks and
Mm-hmm.
I redraw my my drawings, my characters.
Mm-hmm.
And if that doesn't work still, on the program that I use, there's a symmetry function
Mm-hmm.
where when you draw, when you draw one line here, it mirrors it on the other side.
Okay.
So
It's like predictive texting or whatever.
it's like
Well,
yeah. So it's parted down the middle. When you draw something on here, let's say like a curve, it also draws a curve here, but
okay.
mirrored. So
Right.
yeah, those are the three things that I do. Um,
Nice.
if there are other creatives on here listening who are struggling, maybe you could try doing that. Those are the things that work for me. So that yeah, that's what helps me move out of an art block. But what keeps me motivated to draw is seeing the final product. It's yeah, creating itself is the reward for me.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, we always say that we ask about inspiration as an way of inspiration from the outside. It's like, oh, I will watch a movie to get inspired. I will listen to a particular music to get inspired. In your case, I will fixate on a particular series in order to get me going or get me inspired. But sometimes we forget that our own work also can inspire us. So that's one thing that we should never forget. So that's your way of handling writer's block, which is sort of like steering you towards craft questions as well.
Mhm.
Would there be, let's say, you mentioned that there's also no specific time of day for you to be creative. Sometimes it comes in waves: morning,
Yeah.
afternoon, the
Mhm.
evening. Would you have, and some people would do this, I don't know, specific rituals before you go into that creative mode? Some people would light a candle to
Mhm.
signal to their brain that it's time to create. Some people would
Mhm.
brew a specific kind of coffee just for when they write or for when they draw. So anything
Mhm.
similar for you when you do that?
No, not really for me. I just jump right in and start
Okay.
drawing.
Okay,
But
great,
sometimes
good.
I would like a change of scenery. I go out sometimes, stay at the coffee shop, stay at the cafe. Dito sa UK, their cafe culture is different here.
How
It's
different?
kind of frowned upon if you stay long at a coffee shop.
Okay.
So I can't so mga 1 hour, an hour or so lang ako sa coffee shop. But while back home, I would stay 2 to 3 hours, maybe
Yeah,
more
like, or
sometimes.
yeah, or sometimes even half a day. I guess as long as you order again, not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like one cup for the 3 hours that you're there, or
Oh,
4 hours that
oh
you're
no,
there,
no, 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 no.
diba? I
Yeah.
guess that'll be okay. What would probably be the biggest lesson or wake up call that you have learned in being a creative that has sort of become a life lesson to you, and you would gladly share that to other aspiring creatives?
Ang deep naman. Ang deep ng question.
Pampagising ba?
Um, paano ba? I guess, um, express yourself. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ex-
Oh, sorry, that was Vogue.
I didn't even realize na na bringing up ko ulit. um, so yeah, express yourself in any way you can, be that drawing, writing, dancing, or whatever art form that is. Um, I'd say don't let the haters get to you. Um, they don't matter.
Hmm.
Your supporters matter most. And just keep posting, keep putting yourself out there, and you will attract the right crowd, the right kind of people. Like
Yeah,
what happened to me with, the community that I built with Dandam Pass. And it might take time to do that, to achieve that, but it will happen.
it will happen. Speaking of Dandam Pass, are you probably working on part two?
Oh yeah. Actually, yes, I am.
Yay!
I the plan originally was to release the second book of Dandam Pass this coming June for
Yeah,
Pride Month.
right.
However,
You're there.
andito ako and um, I was struggling to find a job at first, and so I was living off commission. So yeah, this is what I said earlier. So puro commission yung tinatrabaho ko.
Hmm.
I only had time to a little bit of time to create Dandam Pass. But now that I have a more stable job, I could maybe start putting out more episodes because I started posting a little bit of the of book 2 on Twitter and Instagram, and Facebook as well.
Hmm.
And so Dandam Pass book 2 hopefully pag na-publish pa rin, fingers crossed. Book 2 will be more of a linear story now. Hindi na
Okay.
siya episodic.
It's not gonna be snippets anymore.
It's not gonna be snippets anymore. Yeah. Because I'm trying to learn how to actually write a full story, and I think this would be
Nice.
a good avenue, a good exercise for
I
me.
like. I
And
like. I like.
so, yeah, you should look out for that.
Yeah, so we are going to be on the lookout for more recipes from Damian.
Yes,
Maybe
yeah.
more, maybe a little bit more supernatural adventures because one panel or two you do have that specific spider-like creature
Yes.
that Pascal sees and also that Dante also senses. And
Yes. The
this is this guy. This is this person right here. Yeah, there you
Yep. That's
go.
it. Yeah. The creature is making a comeback. That's actually the focus of this current
Nice,
story.
nice, nice.
So we will find out why they're there, what's their story, so yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
Is
It's
is there a
interesting.
name for that creature? I mean, what kind of creature is it? It's
We'll
I'm
find
not sure,
out.
but okay. I was going to ask if it's based on I don't know Philippine mythology or
No,
whatever.
it's not
But it's
based
not
on
right
Philippine
or
mythology.
anything.
Well, in my head, maybe I could reveal. They're ghost lang sila. They're a ghost.
They're just ghosts. Okay, good. I
Yeah.
mean, anything supernatural, anything woo woo, or anything that goes bump in the night, I'm always go for that. So I can't
Yeah.
wait like the rest of your fans. Can't wait for book two. We will go out in droves for this one.
Ah,
But if in
I hope
case
so.
uh, for those who still have yet to get a copy, where can they get it?
For those of you who want to get a copy of Dante, Damian, and Pascal the Pusang Kalye, you can find it in Shopee and Lazada, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Just search Comiket, Komiket, and you can find my book there, along with other great books from great authors, from queer authors as well. And you can also just search Dante, Damian, and Pascal on these sites, and it'll pop up. And just
They'll
make
pop
sure
up.
that you're buying from legit sources, because I saw on there were other people who were posting the book, and I don't know, hindi ko sila kilala.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe just order from Comiket. I
Just to be
know,
sure.
just to be sure, but I know there are other legit sellers on there who are also selling Dandampas. But hindi ko kasi alam if kung sino-sino sila, but just to make sure, ordered from Comic.
From Comic Get, yeah. Or since our episode comes out on the first Wednesday of
Mm.
June, and I will be part of Comic Get from June 14 to 16, so you can just drop by Comic Get at
Oh yeah, actually.
Ayala the 30th,
Yeah.
and yeah, and just get it from there.
Yeah, actually. Oh yeah, I think if you drop by Comiket, um, you may get a signed copy.
Okay,
Kasi when I was in Manila, I had to sign loads of these
lots.
books. So
Oh, shucks.
if you want signed copy, maybe ask Comiket if they have any, or yeah.
Okay, or we can always, fly to the UK and have you sign it here or something.
Absolutely, you can do that
And
for
hopefully
my
by
signature.
yes, and hopefully for that by that time you and us have probably mastered the UK accent. and
Hopefully.
and
Hopefully.
yes, hello, and stop talking like this. Like a cross between Lea Salonga and Hugh Grant.
Yeah. Imagine if I did that on here. What the hell?
Oh, that'd be great.
No.
That'd be nice to hear.
Then I'd get haters.
Then you get, and that'll be another feather in your cap to add. But
Yeah.
so, if in case for those who want to follow you and know more about your work and upcoming work on social media, where is the best platform to find you?
Oh yeah, there are a lot of exciting things coming up for me for not only for Dandan Pass, but I also have other comics coming out. Um, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram. Twitter, still Twitter for me.
I still
Twitter,
call it Twitter,
Instagram. Yeah, di
regardless.
ba?
I never want to call it X. No.
Yeah, sounds like a porn site.
Yeah. Well,
So
for porn sites, we have different ones that we can go to, but I shall
yeah.
not name the site. You guys know it already.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Dandampas, Dandampas for Dante, Damian, and Pascal the Pusang Kalye. And you can find me on the same platforms at Guhit Saglit, Guhitsaglit,
Hmm.
to find more of my personal work.
Okay, Guhit Saglit. All right, we shall put
Yep,
that as well in the show notes. That's Guhit Saglit, both for IG and on FB
yep, yeah, and Twitter.
and Twitter. Yes. Okay. Awesome. 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 That's a wrap for today. Thank you so much.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Levi,
Yay!
for waking you up this early.
No
On a
problem at all.
Yeah. And we wish you the best in all your writing endeavors. And for everyone out there, remember to celebrate who you are and who you have come to be, because everyone's journey is different. And you cannot and you must not judge until you have walked in their shoes. And if you are creative and you'd like to be featured in the podcast, simply email us at urbanfantasyph@gmail.com. Until the next episode, in the Authors Unite, happy Pride, everybody. Keep creating and we'll keep reading. Stay safe, stay creative, stay true to who you are. Namaste. Blessed be. Thank you.
Hey, happy
Yay.
Pride.
Happy Pride.
Express yourself.
Yes, there you go. And I can't do it. Live long and prosper. I cannot. I cannot. Okay. Wala. You're the second guest who does that perfectly. I just can't. I just have to like do this. It's like
Rubber band.
rubber band. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not a Trekkie. I'm just a Sith. So. All right. Happy Pride, everybody.
Bye
Bye.
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 That was another episode of Urban Fantasy PH. Join us next time as we feature another creative soul who wants their art to be seen, heard, and shared. If you have your own work to share, just email us at urbanfantasyph@gmail.com. Till the next episode, this is independent author, singer-songwriter, radio personality, voice actor, and fellow creative, CJ Edmunds, reminding you to always listen to your heart, create with your mind, and share with your soul. Goodbye, everybody. Namaste. Blessed be.